Down. Okay, so Steven Crowder did a movie review. He decided to step off the normal thing that he does and decided to review Avengers Infinity War. And I think that maybe you should just stick to doing political commentary, Steven. Roll the first clip.
And I recommend some context. Now, before we get into why we liked it, why we didn't, there might be some spoilers here. If you see this image, that is the context right before.
You know, Steven, after doing movie reviews for many, many years, I can say that most of the time when you go into a movie expecting to hate it, you're going to find every reason you can to hate it. So you're just setting yourself up to not like this movie. Roll the next clip.
Context. Now, let me get some context as well, because people will always say you're a snob if you don't like a superhero film a lot of the time, unless it's unilaterally hated, like Green Lantern.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite superhero films are I liked Deadpool, I liked Logan, obviously the Dark Knight series, and then if we're talking about more of a family-friendly sort of superhero film, Spider-Man 2, the one with Alfred Molina and Tony, I think is a fantastic example.
Okay, good. You don't hate superhero films. Good to know, good to know. But what you're saying next, roll the next clip.
You know, we've always talked about with the show, you need to earn the audience with every single performance, right? They don't know that you did a show 2 weeks ago and it was packed and it was with stand-up. It doesn't matter. You're re-earning it every single time. They didn't do that with this. This film is really banking on you loving the entire Marvel universe.
Yes! Yes, that is the point on the Avengers movies. You're supposed to know everyone beforehand and then go in saying, I know you guys, and I want to see all of you come together in order to make a really entertaining movie. That's the point. It's not to develop new characters and introduce new people. No, it's supposed to bring everyone together that you already have established, that you've already seen them get developed, and then say, okay, now let's all come together, do some quips as with the guys that like each other, have the guys that don't necessarily get along try to figure out how they can get along and go up and fight the bad guy that's just so powerful that they can't defeat them on their own. Next clip.
The fun and clever part about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that every film ties in together. The part that makes it suck is the fact that they shortchange every movie so that it could all tie in together. And so all those movies were shortchanged so that they could tie into the bigger theme. And then when we get to this point, it's so reliant on films you saw 10 years ago and plot points and characters that you don't care about anymore. And then, but they assume you still do.
Well, again, that's the point of the movie. It's meant that you've watched all the ones coming up beforehand so that you know what's going on. There's been like 9 movies that have been teasing and hinting at this, and it's all been being brought together so that everyone knows what's going on. And it's reliant on you knowing what's going on because it's got all these characters that are all coming together. You don't complain about this with other franchises. I mean, you don't complain that Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, that there's this Harry Potter kid. Who is this guy? I don't know anything about him. What's the deal with these Horcrux thingamabobs? And why is this sword so important? And who is this Voldemort guy? And what's the deal with this Malfoy person? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he just... What makes him so special? Why is he so different than all these other Death Eater people? Same thing with Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. No one's going, hey, what's the deal with this Leia Organa person? Why is she so special? And, okay, so I get that this Kylo Ren guy is a bad guy, but what's the deal with this helmet thing that's all burned up? What does that have to do with anything? Oh, people tell me that that's Darth Vader, his grandfather? Okay, but who is this Darth Vader guy? Oh, I need to watch the other 6 movies beforehand? What's the deal with that? I mean, every movie should be standing alone on its own. Don't do that. Same thing with Avengers and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Next clip.
You know, we have this from Mike.com showing studies that the Marvel Universe has a definitive lack of diversity. So it's become sort of this lightning rod for social justice, warriorism, and political complaints.
It does ruin it a little bit.
But that changes the way they write the films, too, because they try and make it more diverse.
Yeah.
They try and make it more... You can see that in the arc of the film.
Even if it's not there, I perceive it that way because I'm looking for it, because they've set me up to look for it. Even Spider-Man, I was like...
Okay, so you've allowed SJWs to destroy your love of movies because you can't help but watch them now without looking through them with the lens of SJW identity politics. Not me, though. I don't read HuffPo movie reviews, so I don't see him that way. I mean, I guess I was a little thrown off by Mary Jane's depiction in Spider-Man Homecoming, considering that she's very different from every other depiction there is. But, they also made Peter Parker a baby-faced middle schooler that is mentored by Tony Stark, that I haven't seen in any other depiction either. So, I'll just let that be creative differences. But, maybe you should go back and rewatch Black Panther and see how anti-SJW, anti-leftist that movie is. Because let's see here. The good guy is a capitalist, an industrialist, and an isolationist, and a patriarchal leader in a rather patriarchal nation. And the bad guy is a community organizer who uses identity politics to take over the kingdom, destroy their means of self preservation and self defense in order to redistribute the nation's wealth to the rest of the world through his identity politics lens. And he's the bad guy. Why don't you think on that for a bit? Next clip.
You will like it if you're just looking for popcorn summer action. You will like it if you are 100% bought into the Marvel Universe. I don't think you'll like it if you're looking for a film that stands alone with a coherent plot or something that really, something that creates characters you care about, that engages you.
Again, that is who this movie is for. It's meant for people that are just going for the dumb action popcorn summer blockbuster action film. They're not going to see new characters and get deep development and see a movie that stands on its own. No, that's what the Avengers movies are. That's what the original Avengers was. That's what Avengers Age of Ultron was. And that's what I expect to get out of Avengers Infinity War. If I wanted to see a standalone movie, then I'd go watch one of the standalone movies. I'd go see Black Panther again. I'd rewatch Spider-Man Homecoming. I'd wait for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'd go see any of the other many different Marvel Cinematic Universe movies out there. Because if you try to introduce new characters and develop them in the crossover film, you get Batman versus Superman. Next clip.
We just reviewed A Quiet Place. It did that very effectively, and in very short order, they built the character backstory. With this, it just banks on you already caring about them from the previous film.
Oh, right, because that's a fair comparison. I mean, everyone knows that the way that you write a movie that is the 19th in the franchise is the same way that you write a movie that is just meant to be a standalone film. Next clip.
So, in conclusion, no mug. Put it down. No mug for Avengers, Infinity War, and hopefully that was informative.
No, it wasn't, Steven. You didn't give us anything of substance. All you did was say that you need to know the other movies in the franchise. You didn't say anything about the actual movie, aside from the fact that Star-Lord is directed just a little bit differently, probably because it's a different director. And that Thanos isn't that cool of a villain, at least when you compare him to Doctor Doom, because that's really what was the point. You didn't talk about anything about the way in which the characters interact, the way in which everyone comes together, and all the other things that people actually go to these movies for. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe by clicking my face and oh wait, no, I'm not on YouTube. This isn't really going up on there. Or maybe it is. We'll end up seeing. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. And what's with the mug? Steven Crowder has a mug, but this one's empty. I actually gotta do the dishes with this one. So hey, hopefully you enjoyed this video. And again, Steven, maybe you should just stick to the political commentary from now on. Or maybe you should just stay away from movies that require where everyone knows that you're supposed to see the movies beforehand. Yeah, I had a lot of fun making this. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. And there goes my fedora. Yeah. End card. First shift, one take. Yeah. So, do whatever you need to do normally when I'm doing this. And I set the mug down because it was kind of getting heavy. Okay, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully you enjoyed it. And maybe you want to check out some of the other stuff that I did. And Stephen, no hard feelings, but when you get things wrong, I gotta call you out on it like you want me to.